2, 1, and go. All right. So, welcome to a live here. This is Convocourses Podcast, and every week I talk about cybersecurity, mostly GRC, governance, risk, compliance, and I tell people how to get into this field as a cybersecurity person. Making pretty good money. I've been doing this for many years. I've been doing this since 2000. I've been in IT since 2000. I've been doing um, IT outside the military since 2003 and been making six figures for quite some time. And I've been working remotely since 2014. So, what I do is, as an inside guy, I tell you guys how to do this. Today, what I want to talk about is security assessments, cybersecurity assessments, which I've been doing for the private sector, public sector, on and off for many years. And if you are interested in this, I have a book that's coming out. You can sign up for it. Normally, right when I'm about to release the book, I'll give it out for free. I'll give it to you for pennies on the dollar, just for some likes and some views and some reviews and stuff like that. I'll do this with my audience. If you're interested in learning more about this, if you're interested in actually getting this book for, like, before I even release it to everybody, then the best way to contact me is to get on my newsletter, and then I'll start releasing it and all that stuff. But what I'm going to do is walk you through like an overview of how to get into this field. And before I start, let me show you guys what I have going on here. If you're get people asking me about security assessments, and this is something that I do professionally for large, medium, small organizations that I've been doing for years. So here's what I have. I'm showing my screen right now for those of you guys on TikTok, and I'm gonna open this up a little bit later to open topics if you guys are interested in asking questions about how to get in this field or anything like that. But I'm going to walk you guys through all this kind of stuff. But let me show you a little bit about the book that I'm writing. Let me see if I can find it. I got so much crap going on here. Where is that book? Yeah, here it is right here. So here's the book right here. I'm editing it, so bear with me on the you'll see some typos and stuff right there. But this is how I talk. I'll just go ahead and just write it as fast as possible, and then just pour all of my experience into a book, and then I'll go back through and clean it up. So that's what you're seeing here. So this right here, I'm working on it. It's a longer book. It's taking me a lot longer to do, and I mean, it's just already 200 pages. So I'm in the final stages of this book. So that's what you're looking at here. But what I'm going to do is give you an overview of the risk management framework, security control assessment, so you guys can get an idea of this. So here we go. Let's jump into this. Before we start, let me just tell you the why. Why do you do security? First of all, what is an assessment? Like, what are we talking about with an assessment? So assessments are necessary for all organizations, especially if you're dealing with people's personal information. Think about it, your social security, your banking information. This is people's livelihoods you're dealing with, right? Information is so important to our lives. Like, it is our lives these days. Our information is our lives. It's our money. It's our health care. It's our kids in school. It's the grades. Like, when we're talking about information, we're talking about our entire life in this modern society. So it's very important that we know, we have assurance, we have confidence that that information is being protected. So it's not enough for us to install the encryption that we need. It's not enough for us to make sure there's username, password installed. It's not enough that all that stuff, all the security features are in, the physical security, all that kind of stuff has to be in, right? That's one thing. But another aspect is that somebody comes in, a third party comes in, and then they conduct a scan, they conduct a walk around, they look at your documentation. Like, don't you want to know that your bank, whoever you bank with, does assessments on the security of their systems? Don't you want to know, don't you want to have confidence that bank that you put your money in, right, that you have a loan with, they have a professional, a cybersecurity professional like myself, come in and say, okay, look, these servers are good right here, but you have some vulnerabilities here. Here's how you can fix it. Here's what you can do. And don't you want to know that that's been vetted? That's what an assessment does. They do this at hospitals. They do this in the federal government, the state government. This is stuff it's not popular. It's not glamorous. It's pretty boring. Like you're making sure that the hospital is in line with a federal act called HIPAA, which is making sure that all of your healthcare information is being protected. It's making sure that if you're in a financial institution, if you have a 401k, if you have a loan, whatever, that they are in line with certain banking security regulations that have been established because the bank's been hacked so many times in the past. So they developed all of these security regulations. You want somebody like myself to come in and conduct a scan, conduct a walkthrough, looking at all the personnel security, the documentation is good, and then wherever there's gaps, and there are always gaps, you go that they're doing due diligence. The organization is saying, okay, we know that this is a problem here. Where should we reinvest our resources? Where should we reinvest our money to fix this stuff? Do we need more cybersecurity people? Do we need more IT people to fix this stuff? Those are the kinds of things that you want to happen. And that's the reason why assessments are so important. To be honest with you, at all the places that I've worked at to conduct assessments, be they private or public being federal or state government, whatever, if they don't have assessments, if they don't have their assessment game tight, and I'm not talking about just conducting assessments, I'm talking about listening to the assessors. If they're not listening to the assessors, their stuff is messed up, so it's not good. So if they're not listening to the assessors, if they do not have assessments that happen on a regular basis, like annually or whatever, or if they don't conduct their own self-assessments, because that's another thing. You got self-assessments where the organization itself goes through and says, okay, let's run a scan on our stuff. Oh man, we didn't know that this is going through. Somebody said cybersecurity hygiene. Exactly. That's another name for it. And I'll get to sources and I'll get to all the questions that I'm getting right now, but I want to just kind of give you guys a bird's eye view of what an assessment is, why you need one, and kind of what are the basic things that you do in a cybersecurity assessment. And if you guys didn't know, if you're interested in going deep diving in this, I have a whole course about this at convocourses.com. There's free downloadables and stuff that you can get from my site, but also there's a book that I'm writing right now that if you get on my newsletter, I'll often I'll give out books for free a lot of times. So I just gave out a bunch of free books, to be honest with you. So, yeah, I got audiobooks coming out about this stuff, and I'll just give free stuff away to my crew, to my audience first. I usually reach out to them. So if you're interested in that, just sign up for free. It's at Convocourses, link in description, whatever. So let's get into this. I want to kind of give you guys a bird's eye view of what this is and why you have it and all that kind of stuff. So if you happen to be following me and watching this, I will explain it if you're actually listening to me. But if you happen to be following me on YouTube, you'll see all this stuff, and I'll do my best to give you a visual representation on TikTok until I get a better way of doing this. But here, what you're looking at here on the screen, and I'll explain it, is usually the 5-step process that most security frameworks, be they what you're looking at here is one for the international standard, one for the US standard, one for retailers called PCI compliance, one for hospitals, they have a security framework for every organization. What you'll notice is that every one of these, be they private, public, real estate, retail, whatever industry you happen to be in, they all have assessments in common, because assessments are that important. And the assessment is usually done after, sometimes before, but after the security has been applied to the actual system. So that's kind of what you're seeing on a bird's eye view. There's usually a process that takes place. You normally prepare. As an assessor, I will prepare for the assessment. I'm gathering information to figure out, okay, what do you guys want me to assess? Like, what is the scope of this assessment? And then we're going to develop a plan based off of all the information that I have. I need to develop a plan that I work out with that organization to say, okay, I can touch these things. I'm going to hit these items here. There's going to be a pen test involved, or I'm going to interview these or that people. I'm going to come in at this time. It's the who, what, when, where, and why of what we have to do. And then you have the actual conducting the assessment itself. That's me going through and asking questions and doing my walkthrough, running my scans, using my tools, all that kind of stuff. And then at the end, we're going to analyze those results. And normally you have like a post briefing where you gather everything into a document. Like it's called a SAR, or a security assessment report. We put all that together. We package it for your upper level management, where you have an executive summary, and we have all the details, all the technical details, along with remediation plans that's going to give them an idea of how they can actually fix these things and why it's what we're going to do to fix these things. So we go through all of that in my course. This is what you're looking at, is some stuff from the actual course that I break all this stuff down and give you very specific examples of how this works and how this works specifically for the federal government. But I plan on expanding all of this stuff really soon. But what I want to talk to you about is what do you do in the actual assessment? What do you actually do? Where there's methods of assessments, there's specific methods that you use, and those methods, and these are defined in the NIST 800, NIST 853A. Actually describes this. If you guys happen to be taking notes, that's where most of the stuff I'm talking about comes from for the federal government. But there's different methods of actually conducting this. So you're going to do an examination. An examination is exactly what it sounds like. You're actually observing the behaviors of people. You're observing the documentation. You might observe the area if you do a physical walk around, stuff like that, making sure that classified information is not just all over the place, like for all the world to see, anybody who walks the facility. So that's just an examination, right? So that's examination. The next one is interviews. Interviews is you're talking to the subject matter experts, people who should know this. If you're talking about networks, you're talking specifically to the network guys and asking them network questions. And then you have testing. That's testing the actual behavior of the system itself. Like you might have somebody log in and to see if they have multi-factor authentication. You might have somebody log into a web server to see if they have certain privacy data that pops up, like, having the little privacy notice at the bottom, or making sure that people have consent when they log into that web server or whatever. So those are the kinds of things that you do. You're going to do examination, you're going to use testing, and you're going to use interviews. That's what you do. And you gather the whole time you're documenting. You're gathering all that information up, and you're putting that into what's called a security assessment report. Now, there's different names for it. There's just assessment reports. I've heard it called a risk assessment report, or RAR. There's many different names for it, but essentially you're gathering all the data and putting it into one document. And then the really important part about that assessment report is what you're doing is, number one, you have it to where you're writing for two different audiences: a very technical audience who are going to have to go back and fix those things, and a very upper level audience who they just kind of want to know what the rating is, like, do we pass or fail kind of thing. So in the upper level, when you're talking to the senior management, when you upper level management, your C-level execs, your CIO, your CISO, they don't have a lot of time. They're running the whole organization, so you got to get to the point. So normally what you do for them is, when you write this risk assessment report, the security assessment report, what you're doing is you have an executive summary that breaks everything down. Like, here's when we did it, here's what we did, here's who we talked to, here's the system, here's the scope of the system. It's very quick, couple paragraphs, and then here's the rating. The rating is, you guys, and the rating really depends on the organization that's doing the assessment. There's different kinds of ratings for different organizations. Even within the federal government itself, there's different kinds of ratings that you can have for different levels of systems. Like if you have a classified system, they have a certain rating, and then you have low and medium have a certain type of rating that you give. Rating, when I say rating, I mean a risk assessment report score, a risk score. Like, what is the risk score that we have for this organization? What is it? Did they score a moderate or a high level of risk to our assets? And you would just quickly give them something that they can say, okay, we scored high, we scored low. Here's where we're in the red, we're in the green. Something that they can, as soon as they see it, they're like, okay, where are the problems? And that's another thing that you're going to do, is highlight the main problems that they have, so they can kind of focus on those things and get their score in a better place. And then there's a technical piece of the security assessment report. And that part is going to have all of the stuff that all the notes that you took, all the scan results that you had when you ran your scan. If you actually did a network scan, if there was a pen test, it's going to have a breakdown of every actual thing that you did, and it's going to explain in detail how they can fix it and where they can go to actually gather information to remediate different things on servers or workstations or whatever, right? So one of the things for an assessor to keep in mind is a couple things. You want to manage the expectations of the organization when you're conducting the assessment. And to manage the expectations, you need to gather as much information before you even start on anything as possible. You need to know the scope. Super, super important. The scope of what you're doing is very, very important, because if you try to scan their whole network, it's number one, it's going to take forever. It's going to eat up your time and their time, and it's going to bring in all these vulnerabilities that probably had nothing to do with the actual system you're trying to assess. So you want to just focus in on just that scope of systems. So that is really, really important to get right in the very, very beginning. Otherwise, at the end is going to be chaos. So those are the kinds of things that I talk about as assessors. And this is not just for SCAs, people who that's their job, is just to do assessments. And they don't know what to do, and they want an entry-level idea of how to do it. It's definitely for you, but it's also for information system security officers, compliance people, and IT people, cybersecurity people who just want to know what's going on with assessments, or maybe they in their organization they need to conduct an assessment. So this is a breakdown of what your mindset should be when you're looking at each one of the security control families, each system, what kind of things that you want to look for, how to find gaps, and all that kind of stuff. That's what I'm talking about in the book. And in the course. If you're interested, link in description below, and the book's coming out soon, so sign up for it. All right. Let me see if there's any questions here. I'll keep this one short if we don't have a lot of questions or people watching. Let me start off with somebody said, how do you feel about the IBM CS course? I get this question quite often, and I imagine I get this question so much because IBM CS course is advertising the hell out of their course. I think my opinion of it now, first of all, I've not seen the content of the course, but if you're starting off from scratch, anything that you read or anything that you at this point consume as far as information, going on YouTube, going on whether it's IBM or CompTIA or ISC2 squared. Right now, if you're in the beginning stages, everything is good, because you got to learn from the start. I would say don't stop there, because the IBM CS course is going to be the beginning of your journey, right? And the certification as well. Like, it's going to be the beginning of your journey. It's not going to be the end of your journey. Don't think that you're going to get that piece of paper or that course and then suddenly magically you have a job. It should be the beginning. It should be the start of where you're going to begin, but not where you're going to end. So the next step after you get to go through that course, I would say go to something like a CompTIA Security Plus, and then start to do that one, because that one's a lot more marketable, and it's gonna give you a lot more industry standards and when you put it on your resume, it's gonna stand out. People are looking for that. I don't know who is actually looking for the IBM CS course. Now, I'm not talking crap about it, because IBM is pretty solid in this industry, especially in cloud computing and a lot of other parts of servers and all that kind of stuff. So it's great that but use it as a start. That's what I would say about it. Let me see. Smooth Virus. Hey man, how you doing? I bought your resume marketing and got my dream job for that like a year and a half ago, man. Yeah, man. It's good to hear from you. I talk about you a lot, by the way. He says, I'm walking home from the subway and I got my cell phone call from my boss that the Fed lead cut me. What? You guys are doing federal stuff now. Interesting. Next morning, I turned everything back and where I went off 1.5 years ago. That was Saturday. And Monday morning, I had an interview, and Monday, $50,000 raise. Yeah. So he's talking about if you guys didn't know, I have a course where I walk people through how to actually get these jobs. I've been employed through this recession, the first recession. I've had several jobs. I can't say the recession doesn't affect me at all. Like it affects the housing market, so now the house prices are higher. Real estate, when I'm doing real estate stuff, the house price, buying, selling market changes and all that kind of stuff. Or when I'm buying eggs or something, it's more expensive. But here's the thing, I'm never without a job, a high paying job. As I always have people contacting me because of the stuff that I've been able to do. And what I did was I put that into a book. I put that into a book that other people, because I feel like, I just put it out there so that other people can. I know that, like, what's happening right now, guys, is that these companies don't care about us. I mean, I know I'm kind of preaching to the choir, but these companies, here's my theory behind the whole thing. And I think you'll arrive to the same conclusion. We live in a Western civilization that worships capitalism. I'm not saying anything bad about it, but I mean, I'm a capitalist myself. But that being said, the people who run this country are companies. They run everything. They control our laws. And I'm not trying to paint some kind of conspiracy theory. If you don't believe me, look at the lobbyists. Look at who puts the most money towards lobbying, and look at the kind of laws that they push. The fact that a company can push a law in their favor for taxes, for land for everything, real estate, everything. They control this country, and I would say the whole West. That being said, we are consumers to them. Like when we get jobs, they do not care about us because they have money to make. That's why there's so many layoffs with Google. That's why there's so many. I'm not trying to paint some kind of dystopian future or something like that. This is not conspiracy theories. But here's my mindset. They don't care about us. And we have to do for ourselves, all of us. And you might be working at a great company. I'm not saying anything bad about your company. I've worked for some great companies who had great 401k plans, great benefits, all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, let's keep it real. You are a number. You are a number, and it's not like it was in the industrial age where you could keep a job for 30 years and then they would give you a pension at the end, and at 65 you could retire. It's not like that no more. You are a number to them. You are food. So what my mentality is like, if I want to level up, I'm going to leave the company. I'm not necessarily trying to become a manager so I can do more for less money. I'll just leave. Unless their incentives are so damn good that I can't help but stay. And that's rare. That's a rare situation. I'll just leave. I'll work there for a couple years and then I'm out, unless there's something great. And the reason why is nothing to do with the last job I worked for. I really loved the people I worked for. I mean, it was one of the first times in a long time I worked for a group of people. I really liked the people I was working for. They were very skilled. They were awesome. I learned so much. I really loved them. But I have to feed my family. You know what I mean? Like I got to do what's right by my kids, and they don't care about our family. They don't care about we're a number to them. So that being said, when you put out your resume, when you advertise yourself, you can't be married to these companies. That's my mentality. So that when I put out my resume, I leave it out. Typically, I'll leave it out there. Even when I have a job, I'll leave it out there and I'll just keep getting all these offers. And if something comes up that's good enough, I'm out. I'm probably going to leave. Like if it's got to be really, really good. And typically I'll stay at a company for 1-2 years. If it's really, really good, I'll leave. I'll really consider it. I'll even do an interview and then be like, nah, I'm good. But my mentality is that we have to do for ourselves. And that means getting your resume straight. And that's what I teach people how to do in the book. Hell, if you watch enough of my videos, you don't have to pay anything. You could just watch my videos on TikTok, watch my videos on YouTube, on Facebook, wherever you happen to find them, and then just watch them. And I have a downloadable. I have a free download. If you don't believe I'm trying to help people, my resume right now is free. If you go to my link in description, if you go to convocourses.com, there's a downloadable resume for free. My resume that I've used to get many, many jobs, that you can use it as a template and it'll walk you through what you need to do. ATS style resume, everything. It's worked for me on several jobs. These are jobs making 6 figures, working from home. And you could literally download that sample resume right now. That I could be charging people big money to actually just to get my resumes. And I have more than one. So go ahead and check that out. Download it. Go ahead and check out the book. The book is on Barnes and Noble. It's on Apple. Anywhere you can buy a book, it's probably there. So it's not gonna run you that much money. And the course actually is the best thing that you can do because I'm literally walking you through exactly what I do on these different sites to market myself, to put myself out there and everything. So that being said, let me go to the next question here. I got some more stuff about that, but let's keep it moving. Somebody said, I'm getting my associate in cybersecurity this summer. Will I be able to land a job with that? And he said, while I get my bachelor's. Okay, so Ali, here's what I'll say. Here's my advice to you. Number one, there's no guarantee that I'm not trying to dissuade you from finishing your degree. Absolutely finishes. It's awesome. I think degrees are awesome. I know people talk crap about them, but I have a degree, and I know that I wouldn't be able to make as much money as I do without one. That being said, if you think that you're going to have a degree and just automatically get a job, you are wrong. So let me just tell you what you need to do. So number one, a degree is great. It's a great start, but it's not where you're going to stop. Right now, what I would do is get experience if you can. If there's a way that you can get experience right now while you're in school, start getting it, because what organizations are looking for is a combination of knowledge, which you're going to display with your degree, and maybe a certification or two, but the experience is what they really want. Experience is above all. Experience is above your degree. It's going to be above your certifications. Experience is what you want to get. Now, Ali, what you want to do right now while you're still in school, this is what I did, is get experience. Go to your school and see if there's a way that you can even volunteer, like even for free. What's this going to allow you to do if you can work for maybe imaging systems, getting rid of viruses on student laptops or whatever. Like if you work with the staff, you'll be able to put that on your resume and say, you'll be able to put that as that organization, the university of whoever, working as a help desk support and working from this year to this year. And then here's what I did, right? Action and impact statements that you want to put on your resume. And then what you want to do is start putting your profile on LinkedIn, on Dice, on Monster, on all at least the top 10 places. Put it out there. Even if you don't have a lot of experience, put it out there with your skill set. You'll be surprised how many organizations start to actually contact you, right? This is before you get out of school, because school in the US right now is so competitive. A degree is not what it used to be. Like there've been time in our history where you could just put a listed degree and then you had a job. It's not like that no more. There is competition. So you need to, that being said, you can get a job with a degree, but you need to get the experience on there first. I mean, as well, not first. So that's what I would advise you to do. You're on the right track, and associates in cybersecurity is awesome, and keep going. And also what you want to do is list on your resume that you're working on your bachelor's degree. Okay. Working on your bachelor, get your associates, put it on there, working on bachelor's, and then all your skills on there too. Put all your skills, and then of course get your experience as you go. That's what I would do. I mean, and that's what you need to do. Okay, let me see. Sid says, I'm a CS student, wanted to ask, what are the cybersecurity salary ranges if I know how to code? So if you know how to code, it's a huge bonus. So my man over here on YouTube, Smooth Virus, actually reached out to me with the ability to code. He was an app, and I was like, oh, so you're app security guy. So application security. If you're curious about this, go to Google and type in application security and see how many jobs are out there. And these jobs pay pretty good. If you know how to code, that's actually a huge skill. Huge skill. You don't have to know how to code. You don't have to know software development or software engineering or have a CS degree or whatever. But does it help you? Yes. Absolutely, it freaking does. But do you have to? No, because GRC doesn't. Not all positions in cybersecurity require you to code. I don't know how to code. I'm not a coder by any stretch of the imagination. I know a little HTML or something. That's not a coder. You know what I mean? I mean, I've done it before. It's just not my cup of tea. I kind of know what I'm looking at. I know the difference between JavaScript and HTML or something like that. And I kind of have an idea because I went to college about it, but I don't use it in my job. It's not the reason why I'm making six figures. Coding is not part of something I claim, so on my resume. But is it going to help you? Yes. What's the salary range? That was your question. Salary range really is going to depend on the location in the country that you're getting the job at. East Coast tends to pay a little bit more. And then it's also going to depend on your skill set, of course, right? It depends on like how much skill set and how much experience you have. That's going to weigh heavily on how much you can barter for as far as your salary range. And then another thing is the position itself, right? So higher level positions being like management type positions, and then the other ones not necessarily lower, but technical positions are going to be a little bit more competitive, in that you're battling against other people just trying to get that job. The less people trying to get management positions, and they're actually sometimes higher stress jobs. So that being said, the salary range depends on your experience. I would say if you were just with no experience at all, really depends on the place that you're at. I mean, probably if I had to guess off the top of my head, I'd say like 70, 80, but that's a ballpark figure. And without knowing your skills or you at all, or what part of the country you're going in, I have no idea. But the numbers I normally see is in the 60, 70,000 dollar range in general. So I don't know. That being said, I don't know. I have no idea. Let me see. Let me see here. I want to show you guys something kind of cool with ChatGPT, if I could. Something I just figured out. Let me see. Somebody said, what is a CISO role? What does a CISO role do? A CISO, if you're talking about a chief information security officer, is that what you mean? A chief information security officer is typically a director that's they're a upper level manager. They're a manager of managers. A chief, if you hear the word chief or director, upper level management, these are C-level positions. A C-level position, these guys, they are making decisions that affect the direction of a company. And they're usually the manager of managers. They're not typically dealing with the people who are in the weeds actually programming, or the people like myself who are actually writing policies or doing scans or doing assessments. They're not dealing with those guys. The C-level execs are dealing with upper level managers. They're dealing with the guy who got you hired, your boss, your supervisor. They're talking to those people. And then the people above them are the CEO, the CIO. So a CISO is usually just beneath a CIO. In my experience, they're either on the same level or beneath a CIO. A CIO is a chief information officer, and they're handling really the funding and the resources of the whole company for the technology, right? So this is a high level position, and they report directly to the CEO, who's the controlling the whole shoot match. And then below the CIO, you usually have a CISO, and that's like usually it's one person that's in that position, but they have a whole department that's helping them deal with all security stuff. Sometimes I've seen the CIO be the CISO as well, the Chief Information Security Officer, but they're handling all the security issues. It's can be a stressful job, but because they're dealing with like very heavy things. They're not dealing with just normal vulnerabilities. They're dealing with like high level high level issues in the company, like possible breach, data breaches, or they're seeing real hardcore stuff on the company. They're seeing like the real vulnerabilities, the real threats to the organization. They're seeing things that can affect everyone's job. So that's what a CISO is. It's a Chief Information Security Officer. If I think that's what you're talking about, but so that's what they do, and that's where they're at. Okay, let me see here. Is that two people asking me that, or the same person? That's the same person. Let me see here. I'm just kind of going through. I've got a lot of stuff popping up here. So I'm just reading through this. I won't make this one a long one, guys, but I'll answer a couple more questions. Okay, here's a question. Falana says, I just joined. Maybe this question is already asked. How do you build an entry-level resume? I just finished a boot camp and I can't get a job yet. Most need experience. Exactly. So most need experience, and it's not going to be a certification or one course or even even a degree that's going to get you in the door faster. It's going to be experience, because experience is above all. But one thing that you can do, Falana, is this. Let me show you. I'm going to show you live what I would do if I was in your position. This is not going to be, you're not going to want to hear this. This is not sunshine and rainbows. I'm just going to tell you the real. But this is, keep this in mind, that this is just a step in the right direction. So anybody who's going through this, who's trying to get a job and who's struggling, I want to show you this as well. Now, the best place to watch this is on YouTube, because you can see the screen a little bit better. Okay, but here you go. Here's what I would do if I was given the same situation, going through the same thing. What you want to do is, what I'm on Indeed right now, but you can do this same thing on you can do this on Google. Just type in jobs, entry-level jobs. You can do this on Dice. You can do this on just name your job aggregator. You can do exactly what I'm about to type in. I just use Indeed because it's just easier. It's very clear, straight to the point. Before I do this, there's one thing that everybody should know here. There's one thing everybody needs, and that is, you don't necessarily need experience to get a job. You can get a job without experience, but what you cannot get is you cannot get a job without knowledge. You're going to have the knowledge first. And that's where a boot camp actually will help you. That's where actually having a degree will help you. That's where actually having a certification is going to help you out. You need the knowledge first before you do what I'm about to show you. Okay, so no organization is expecting you, well, not very many are expecting you to come in with absolutely nothing, knowing absolutely nothing. You got to come in knowing something. Okay, that being said, let me show you. So here's what I would do. I would type in entry-level IT support. There we go. There you go. entry-level IT support. Type in your location right here, or somewhere close you're willing to travel or willing to go to. You can also type in remote, but there'll be a lot less remote jobs. Okay, so I would just start off. Let's start off without remote jobs. Let's start off with just entry level, and then put your state right here. You can follow along with me. All right, so we've got entry level here. Now we're gonna just hit find jobs. What we're looking for now, you're gonna have to do some searching on your part. What you're looking for is a job that requires no experience. There's not a lot of these jobs, but they do exist. They do not pay well, okay? But it's a stepping stone. That's what I want you to keep in mind. It's a stepping stone. Once you get about 6 months of experience, you're going to put that experience on your resume, and then you're going to go for the next level of jobs, which whatever job pays you more. And actually, that company that you work with might even give you a raise to try to keep you. All right, but we're not done with our search yet. So now what we're going to do, type in entry-level IT support. You can also type in help desk, IT support, whatever. But let's just start with this for now. Now we're going to say experience level. We want to say no experience required. You guys see what I'm doing here? No experience required. Let's see how many jobs. So it went from over 1,000 jobs to 164 jobs. There's not going to be a lot. And if you have a location here, it's probably 0 right now. So you might even have to travel for this job. Okay. So, but in the beginning, you're going to have to, it's going to be rough. Okay. In the organization you work for, it's probably going to suck. And that's why I say work there for a short period of time. Here's one that's for 30,000 in Indianapolis. Not a lot of money, but remember, this is a stepping stone. We're just trying to get something on our resume for now. Here's another one, IT technician, working directly for the U.S. government. This might even be, let me see, what is this? This might be a military job. Sometimes they sneak in military positions in here. But you want to do your own research here. Yeah, this looks like a military job. Look at these benefits. Military jobs have the best benefits. Is that, wait, 4,000? Yeah, this looks like a military job, man. That is an option. Military is an option. Yeah, here's another one. This is IT help desk support. You want to, bottom line is you want to get a job like this that doesn't require experience. And there's a ton of them. Now, if you're coming up blank in your area, you just got to fix this. Okay. You can type in help desk. That's probably actually a better keyword anyway. Help desk. Try that one in your area. And then do the same thing. No experience required. Keep doing this until you find one. Do interviews for them. You just looking for, listen, let me just explain something, especially to my brothers and sisters out there. Let me explain something to you real quick. None of this is easy for any of us, okay? You're going to go to a job. There might be people who don't like you. There's always an asshole. You can trust and believe wherever you go, there's going to be at least one asshole that you don't even like their face. But what you need to do, what you have to do is keep the goal in mind. Okay? Focus on the path. Your path is to level up. Right? So if there's Karens there, if your boss is a Karen, if there's just people who just don't like you for whatever reason, you're on a path. All right. So this person who don't like you for whatever, you just don't want to be around them, you're going to have to suffer through this for a time to get that experience. Once you get the experience, put that on your resume. Okay. Very, very important. Put it on your resume. You need to put your resume out there on LinkedIn, on Dice, on Monster, the main 3, but you want to put it on like 10 different places. Now, if you don't know how your resume should look, or you don't know what keywords to use, I got a starter resume. You can download mine. Just sign up for my newsletter. It's in my link in description, link in bio, link below. Convocourses.com is where you want to go to download my free resume. And then you can use that, just kind of massage the words around to fit you. But it's an ATS style resume. It's been working for me for years. It'll give you an idea of what kinds of things you want to put on your resume and how to word them. That's what you want to do. Okay. Another thing you can do is this. If you don't want to download my stuff, I want you to check this out right here. Something I just discovered. I'm sure other people are already doing it, but here is, this right here is called Chat GPT. This is free. This is going to change the game. It's going to put a lot of people out of work here real soon. You're going to be seeing this all over Google and Bing, and all those guys are already working on doing this, but this is a AI. And what you can do is type this in. Check this out. I think I'm going to do a whole video about this. You can type in create an ATS style resume for a cyber security professional. Watch this. Now it's going to give you a good template. It's going to write a template. Look at this. See this? This is an ATS style resume that's writing for me. Now, what I can do with this is take this, copy it, put it into a Word document, and then it doesn't have to be fancy. In fact, ATS style resumes, if they're fancy, it's not going to help you out. But this is kind of the format that an ATS style resume have. I would say that there's some flaws. Mine's better than this because objective, you don't really need that. You just stick with summary. Technical skills should go at the bottom, so that's wrong. Well, I guess you could put them on top, but you probably want to put them on the bottom because there's going to be more. What you want to put is usually you want to put the resume on top here. I mean, the summary on top, the skills on the bottom, and then go straight into work experience. But what they got right here is this. See how they put the order in which they put the jobs? They put the position, then the company, then the area, and then the time frame. That's perfect. That's exactly how you want to do it. That's one of the ways you can do it, but that's ATS style. And then they have the education, just says education. Doesn't say my education, doesn't have, it doesn't have, it's not fancy. It just says education. And then certifications, and then references on request. That's perfect. That's how you do it. There's a couple things I would fix on this, but this right here is a template right here. This right here is a template that you could use, and it would be fine. And I just use Chat GPT, which is totally free for you to use. Anybody who's watching me right now can do exactly what I just did. So that would be my advice to you, Falana. I hope that helps you out. Now, if you want deeper understanding how to get into this, if you want more information, I've got more. Just follow me. I've got a book that breaks all this down that's helped tons of people. I've got a whole course that walks you through exactly what I've done, what I have done in practice for many, many years. It's been able to get me multiple six-figure jobs, sometimes 2 at a time, to be perfectly honest. I shouldn't say that, but I'm trying to help y'all out here. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to listen to me, but what do I know? You know what I'm saying? Let me see. D-Truth says, Bruce, please do a video on AI applications when you get a chance. I was just introduced to this a week ago and just finding out more. Yeah, D-Truth, I've got some videos coming out. Actually just did one the other night. It's going to be coming out in a couple days. I've been kind of messing around with it with a couple. And I'm going to actually do a lot more with it as I learn. I'm just gonna, because I'm learning myself, this is kind of new to me too. So I'm learning all these tricks and stuff. It's pretty freaking amazing, man. To be honest with you, it's blowing my mind. It's blowing my mind. I don't think it's gonna replace jobs. It's not gonna replace cybersecurity jobs. I mean, it might replace a lot of other people's jobs, but cybersecurity is too nuanced for it to. I mean, right now it is, but it's definitely gonna change. It's gonna have the same impact on humanity that the internet itself did. It's that powerful. It will end people's careers. It for sure. This one thing will end people's careers, people's products, people's services. It will end their careers for sure. Cybersecurity, it's too nuanced for it to affect that direct for it to replace all aspects of cybersecurity, I should say. But it's a game. It is a game changer. You're right, D-Truth. It is a game changer for sure. And I'll be doing a lot of videos on it because I'm discovering so many things about it. It's blowing my mind. I'm using it for coding. I'm using it for Splunk. I'm using it for, you can use it for anything. It's incredible. It's a really good teaching tool too. Falana says, thank you. Yes, I just finished my cybersecurity boot camp and risk management framework. Oh, that's awesome. Falana, if I might ask, where are you based? Are you in the East Coast? Because that might help you. Let me see. I got a few questions. My phone is about to die, so I'm probably going to have to cut off the TikTok. But if you guys, this live ends, I'm still on YouTube, so you guys can check me out there, or Facebook. I'm actually conducting a live right there, and Twitter tweets. I'm on Twitter too. Okay, let me see. I got an A+ a while back, and I haven't even renewed it because most of the jobs don't care. Laughing. Okay, yeah. A+ is really good for entry-level positions. Really, really good for entry-level positions. It was my first certification, CompTIA A+. Is it once you level up, you want to go to like a security plus? Security plus is much more marketable. But A plus, if you know nothing, if you're just coming in cold, I would say A plus was great for me, and it does have jobs. There are people who are looking for it, but it's usually jobs. Especially if you've been in this field for a while, it's not going to really help you out. Security plus, on the other hand, that can help you out quite a bit. Falana says, I'm in Boston. Okay. Boston has some Massachusetts. That's a pretty good job market, I think. Let me see. If I was looking for a job in Boston, let me just do some messing around here. If I was looking for a help desk job in Boston, MA, I would do this. I would find job, Boston, and then I would look for a job with no experience. There's 2. Check this out, Falana. You better get on this one with somebody's going to take this. Right now, hundreds of people are seeing this. See this job right here that just popped up, $50,000 a year, no experience necessary. These are the kind of jobs you want to try out. This right here is what you want to look for, Falana. Let's look into this one right here. This is an entry-level desk side support analyst making $50,000 a year. Now, I know that's not enough to live on in Boston, but what we're trying to do, Falana, is take one step forward. Okay, so one step forward means getting our foot in the door so we can put this on our resume. That's all. All we're looking for, Falana, is to list these guys as company on our resume. Like these guys are. Let me see. Who is this guy? Let me see. Let's just kind of look more deeply into this. 50,000 is a full-time job. Associates required. Sometimes they'll look past this, by the way. Associates required. Work authorization required. 1 year of help desk qualification. But it says no experience necessary. So I don't understand that. I would contact them is what I would do to figure out if they would take me. It says no experience needed. But then up here, it says 1 year experience qualification, whatever. I would call them because it's a contradiction. But look at this. Yeah, that's one job. Let's look at another one in Boston. IT. Look at this one. It doesn't pay a lot, okay, but we're doing this so we can level up, all right? So here's another one. This is a 2-year contract, and they're telling you your responsibilities, what you're going to do. Really important because we want more technical skills, and if all they're doing is having you be a secretary, you don't want that. So they're testing. I would call, see get more information from them directly from what's going on with this job. Let's see what else. There's only 2, Falana, that I saw for that area, but let's look at maybe there's some more in my Massachusetts area because I know Boston's kind of all on top of each other. Look at all these other jobs here. There's 1,000 jobs, but let's look at ones that have no experience necessary. It's the same 2. So what you want to do here is I would look for IT support. Let's look at different keywords. So this is 700 jobs, and it's the same 2, I think, experience not necessary jobs. Okay, there's one in Andover, there's one in Boston. Let's look at what else can we put here? How about just IT? 6,000 jobs listed in IT. So let's see if we could find some that have no experience required. There's 4. See, this is why you want to kind of use different keywords because this one has 4. One's application specialist, but it's saying no experience. So that means they might teach you on the spot. Here's another one. This is an IT technician. I think this is the same one we were looking at before. It might be, yeah. I think that's the same one we're looking at before. This is a cloud engineer, remote. This was wrong because this is senior, but they're saying no experience necessary. So I don't know what that's all about. So you want to do this and type in different things here. And I would also try DICE. I would try DICE. I would try all kinds of different sites and just trying to keep looking. All right, I'm about to end this on TikTok because my phone's about to die. But thank you guys for watching. I appreciate all you guys. if you guys want to continue to watch, I'll be on YouTube for some time. And you guys can check me out. Link in description above. You can ask all your questions to me on Facebook or on TikTok. I appreciate everybody. But I'll talk to you guys next week. All right. Yeah, my phone's about to die, so I had to cut off TikTok. Bear with me real quick. This is the little rig that I use for TikTok. Let me see if I can show this. I'm going to do this on YouTube for a little bit longer. Let me just plug this thing in. I need to find an easier way to go on both platforms, because it's kind of a pain to actually use that rig. And then it just goes out and I got to switch back and forth. I want to do everything on one. You guys know a way to do that? Because I've been trying to find a way to do both at the same time, but I'm still working on it. Let me see if there's any other questions on YouTube. Appreciate you guys' questions. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Got my Security Plus, and it got me a lot of interviews. Yeah, Security Plus is no joke. A Plus is kind of entry level. It's for people who really don't know anything. They're just trying to get their foot in the door. They're trying to get like low level positions, like anything. That's A Plus. Great for learning. But marketability, that will be Security Plus. Security Plus is very, very highly marketable. It's highly sought after by government jobs, both state and federal government jobs. So yeah, Security Plus, I've had it it was one of my first certifications that I got, and I was teaching it for a while, so I had to get it like twice. I had to get like the original one that doesn't expire, and then I had to get the one that does expire, and it got to get CEUs for, whatever they're calling them now. But that's a very good certification that I would highly recommend anybody get. Yep, no problem. Bruce, I appreciate you. I was a bit frustrated. There are jobs out there, Falana, but you just got to look for them, and just make sure you look on all platforms. Look on Dice, look on Monster, look on, what are the other ones? Of course, Indeed.com, LinkedIn. Did I already say LinkedIn? I might have. And then Career Builder. That's another good one. Those are the top ones. The one that's been probably the most effective for me for getting jobs is probably Monster and Dice. LinkedIn, I have a lot of connections with LinkedIn. I've got a lot of opportunities from LinkedIn, but the ones that I've gotten the most jobs that I worked for like a year or more have come from either Monster or Dice. And I don't know why that is. Maybe it's just the nature of my career path, but the same stuff I showed you how to do as far as searching for those entry-level, no experience jobs, do that same thing across all those platforms, and you will find something. It might not be something you like, but you will find something. And then you need to call them. You need to follow up, call them and say, hey, apply for the job right on the site. Put your resume on the site. That's another thing. What you really, really got to do is this. People never listen to me when I tell them to do this, but I'm telling you, this is what I do. I'm telling you exactly what I do, what is in my book, what I teach people how to do, what I've been doing for years. I know it works. So once you find these jobs, right, you found these 2 no experience jobs that keep popping up, what you want to do is you want to put your entire profile, sign in and put your entire profile on this site. And you want to do the same thing with Dice and the same thing with LinkedIn. You want to put your entire profile and resume on that site, and then you can just hit apply now. And when you do this, it'll send your resume to this organization. Not this one. This is a senior remote position. You don't want that one. You want this one right here. You want to put all your stuff, hit apply now, and then you want to follow up and call them and see what's going on. Like sometimes they'll have a contact information. But the thing is, they'll call you. They will contact you. You want to do this on all the platforms. All right. Let me see. Are there any other questions here? And somebody said Falana also try to get a cert like Security Plus while getting the experience. Yep, that's also a good one. That's a great piece of advice, because Security Plus is the truth, and it's highly sought after. Let me just show you what I mean, Falana. Check this. This is what they mean. Security Plus. I'm gonna look at Security Plus jobs, no experience in MA. Watch this. 23,000 jobs. Look at this, Falana. 23. You see this? D-Truth ain't lying to you. There's 23,000 jobs just for Security Plus, right? Now let's narrow it down. Maybe this is a false positive. Maybe it's looking for anything that says security. Let's look for CompTIA Security Plus. Let's narrow the search. Let's play this fair. So now there's 174 jobs, still quite a bit. But how many of these don't require any experience? There's probably going to be a lot less. Experience level. There's only entry level. Let's look at entry level. 37 jobs, entry level jobs. So what you want to do here's what my play would be this, Falana. I would first get my foot in the door at one of these other jobs. One of these low level jobs that are only paying like 50,000 a year, something like that. I'd work there for like, I don't know, as long as I could take it. 4 months, 6 months, something like that. A year if it's great and it works out good, stay there longer. But at some point you want to level up, right? And once you get your Security Plus, you'll be able to level up, and you won't have to filter this by no experience. You'll be able to experience by entry level. Entry level jobs, there's a lot more that are going to be available to you. You'd be able to do the job like this that's paying still not great money, but you're going to be able to get your foot in the door at a bank. This is a bank, and that bank experience is hot. Now look at this one: software security analyst, entry level, up to 150,000. 90. This one's up to 80,000. This is an IT entry level job right here in Quincy, MA. You got another one here, IT infrastructure operations. Look at this. Look, this is what you want to get to. This is your next step, Falana. This is what you want to do next. This is the path that you're going on. The first one is entry level. It's not going to be a job you like necessarily, but you're just trying to get that thing on your resume. Then you can level up to this. And from here, I don't even want to show you what comes after this. You work here, one of these $65,000 jobs with your Security Plus or whatever, $55,000 jobs. Your next step after about a year of working at this place, or maybe not even a year, maybe 6 months, maybe 4 months, to be honest. Once you have that under your belt, somebody offer you 70 to 80,000. I'm not exaggerating. You're in Boston, so there's some places they will offer you enough money that you'd be willing to move, because the East Coast is no joke. I mean, am I lying, guys? Like, there's some IT guys that are watching me right now. Okay, here, next question is, somebody said, hey, Bruce, I'm a security administrator for a large healthcare organization. Oh, healthcare, here we go. I'm involved with a internal phishing simulation, security awareness training, and TP risk assessment. What job should I go look for? Should I go for? Let me see. You're in a healthcare organization. Let me just see if I understand this correctly. You're in a healthcare. You're a security administrator for a large healthcare organization. Okay. I'm involved with the internal phishing simulation, the security awareness training, and the risk assessment. What job should I go for next? Security control assessor. And let me show you why. Security, if you missed it, I was actually did a breakdown of security control assessor. It's something I've done for quite some time. Security, there's a couple names for it. Assessor, auditor. Well, let's just start with security control assessor. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. The reason why I say security control assessor is it's going to open you up to other industries besides the healthcare industry, because some industries pay a lot better than the healthcare industry. In the healthcare industry, the doctors are the freaking pilots. What I mean is, in the Air Force, I was a grunt in the Air Force. I did. Let me just explain myself real quick. So in the military, I was in the Air Force, and the pilots were the guys who made all the money. They got all the chicks. They got everything, like all the money. The whole infrastructure was made for the pilots. and they knew it. They're like celebrities. They were like Beyonce when they walk on the base. Everything's catered to them. Like the stages, the lighting, everything's for them. They make the most money. Even other officers were like, oh, wow, it had stars in their eyes when they're looking at the pilots. The pilots, they're all like, and they all think they're Tom Cruise. They walk around in their freaking shades and their jacket. They're all cool and stuff. So in the hospital, it's the doctors that are like that. They're the tall dude that walks in. All the girls are like, all the nurses and shit. They're the pilots. But in other industries, you are on a higher echelon as a cybersecurity person, and one of those is cybersecurity risk analysis. You are the go-to person. Consulting lends itself to that attitude. It kind of shifts where you're not necessarily the pilot, but you're like the co-pilot. You know what I mean? Okay. Anyway, get off my soapbox here. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. Security control assessor. All right. So there's a lot of other industries that pay a lot better, and you'll see what I mean here. Security control assessors opens up to a whole range of different things. So this right here is this I believe is government. This is also government. This is a university. This is I don't even know what this one is. This might be like a research facility or something. I don't know what this is either. So you can see like it kind of opens up. You're not just stuck in healthcare. Not to say that you are right now, but once you open yourself up to assessment, because you've already done assessments. That's what I'm getting at is you've already been doing assessments, and these are the kinds of assessments that are available here. I mean, the kind of assessments that you're doing is the stuff that they're looking for, the skill set they're looking for. So it's a great way to bridge, like you're going from security administrator, where you're probably doing mostly, I'm not sure what you're doing, but servers or something. I don't know. But phishing assessments and risk assessments is it's going to open up the market much more for you. So I would put a lot of that stuff in there and maybe shoot for some kind of security control assessor role. And it's going to open you up to something like auditing. Like auditing is another thing that they call it. Auditing, quality control. I believe you could do PCI compliance with auditing. All kinds of stuff opens up. So that's what I would recommend. That's one direction you could go. Risk. That's another one. Risk management. Cybersecurity risk assessments. There's so many different things you can do with just your experience just putting that on your resume and having a technical background will help you to go right into security control assessors and assessor type work. So that's just my 2 cents is that, it just tell me if it goes well for you. Like if you start getting offers, or if you get actually a job, just let me know. Like I want to know how it goes for you. Let me see. D-True says, the East Coast is definitely a good place for opportunities in different areas of IT, especially in the government contracting sector. DC, Virginia area especially. Absolutely. This man knows what he's talking about. There's a certain parts of America, of the world really, that lend themselves to, especially to our field, the stuff we're talking about here, cybersecurity. And one of them is the East Coast in the world, on planet Earth. Right now on planet, and this is going to shift at some point, but on planet Earth, on this planet that we live on, the most hottest markets on Earth, that's going to pay you the most, that's going to have the most jobs, that's going to have the most money available, the most contracts, the most everything, is DC, Virginia, Maryland area. And the surrounding areas too. I would include Massachusetts in there. I would include probably some parts of New England, that area, maybe even up to New York. Like there's that whole area has the most cybersecurity jobs. And the reason why is because that's where most of the tax dollars go for contracts. Think about it. The U.S. spends the most amount of money on their military, on their infrastructure than any country, times 10. I think that if you combine all the countries, including China, Japan, Germany, all the top countries, if you combine all those together, it's not even close to how much the U.S. spends on our military, our government, infrastructure. It's not even close. Combined, we spend more than them combined. That money goes to contractors mostly. Contracting for aerospace, for the military, for FBI, CIA, everything, NSA, research, all that money, all that trillions of dollars, not all of it. I mean, a large percentage of that money, of the tax dollars, goes to the infrastructure of the United States, which uses it for conducting research on government road infrastructure, or doing the FDA or the DEA or DHS or Department of Homeland Security, protecting the borders of the U.S., different bases across, everything. Like, there's all this money goes, and here's why it's there. It's because Washington, D.C. has the Senate, it has the legislative branch. Maryland and Virginia have Quantico, which is like FBI or CIA or something. Like NSA is there. All of those letter agencies are all housed in that area. There's several different heads of different branches of the military there. There's so much government infrastructure that's there. That's why there's so much tax dollars that find their way there. That's why they have the most on Earth. I'm talking about on planet Earth. It's the hottest area that there is. The most cybersecurity people, the most mathematicians. Did you know this? Listen to what I'm telling you. The most mathematicians are employed. If you don't believe me, Google it. The most mathematicians that are employed are in that area. It's not professors. It's not teaching. The most mathematicians are going in that area for working for the government. They're doing statistics. They're doing, cryptography. They're doing all kinds of stuff with math. Like, I mean, it's crazy. But right now on Earth, I mean, the only second place on Earth that might be bigger would be other places in the United States. Maybe Colorado, maybe parts of California, maybe Texas. Plano, Texas might be a fourth one. And then outside of the U.S., probably somewhere in China. I mean, because just looking at the numbers and how much money is being spent by any government in the world, like, yeah, that's what's happening right now. Like, we're living kind of in a golden age of cybersecurity. You can't see it it's hard to see when you're on the chessboard, but if you zoom out, you'll see that right now, like, it's a gold rush for cybersecurity, and people are getting paid. It's not like Google, it's not like Fang, where people are getting $250,000 in benefits and stock options and stuff like that. But I will say this: there are people doing cybersecurity, what we're doing, contractors who are making $200,000 easy. A lot of those guys are working overseas. Like, they get tax breaks for working overseas, but they're making $200,000+. I met some of these guys, $250,000 to work in different locations around the world. So it's not out of the picture. And actually, there's some people on the East Coast who are making $200,000. So yeah. Okay. Let me see here. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years in cybersecurity? In the next 5 years in cybersecurity, I see myself probably having my own corporation that does cybersecurity, if I'm being perfectly honest. I had an epiphany. Like, I wrote a couple of policies for some organizations, and they paid me a whole bunch of money. And so I was thinking, what am I doing? Why am I doing these live streams? I'm like, what am I doing with my life? Like, I could be what am I doing? So probably in the next 5 years, I'm going to test it out, see how it goes. But I'll probably do B2B and go directly to companies and then write them policies, write like the one-offs, like, hey, I'll write your policy. I'll write this. I'll write that. I'm something I'm really good at. Probably in the next 5 years, that's probably what I'll be doing. I mean, and being an author, I've started selling books. Like, I'm surprised by how many people are buying those books. My risk management framework book is selling. My cybersecurity jobs book is selling. It's probably one of those two things I think will happen, but we'll see. I mean, I don't know. Like maybe the cost of living here in the U.S. is so high that if I can't make a certain amount, working a certain amount of hours, then I'll probably leave the United States and go to somewhere I'll probably live in either Ghana, Thailand, Philippines had a lot of problems, but maybe the Philippines. Somewhere in Southeast Asia, somewhere in West Africa. I got to check it out. I haven't been there yet. Or maybe South America, like Costa Rica. So I would live in a cheaper place, like a better cost of living place. But right now, I'm a single father. I got stuff to do here, so I can't really leave right now. So that's probably what I would do within 5 years. I kind of got it mapped out, but we'll see. I got a plan A, B, C through Z. Thanks for asking. Appreciate that question. Let me see. Aaron says, I just landed an ISO role. Thanks to you and God. Wow, that's a crazy thing to say. I'm connected to you on LinkedIn, and the info that you provided there helped me greatly. I recommended your course to everyone I know. Thanks, man. Thanks, Aaron. I appreciate that, man. I'm trying to help as many people as I can, especially us. Like, I know we have it hard, man. We're playing this game of life on level hard, if you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to help us. You know what I mean? I mean, really, I'm trying to help everybody, but us in particular. We need some help. We got to help each other because nobody's coming for us. So that's why I do this. Quantico, UCM, USMC, and FBI. Yeah. That's what I was trying to think of right there. Thanks, Smooth Virus. I met a guy who does cybersecurity in Dale in Texas, makes $250 a year. He has a bachelor's from a WGU. I love stories like that. That's awesome, man. That's incredible. Yeah, I met a few people who are making in the 200s. Most of them were overseas. We're making that tax-free money, and but there's been a couple that I know of who was making that kind of money, like 190 with some benefits. They were making over 200 and stuff like that. Working for government type positions, working contracts. Probably the biggest ballers I met were people who have a business and they are the contractor, which I don't like. I've been trying to look into that. I don't know, like if I could. I'm looking into it. I don't know what direction that's gonna go in, but the biggest ballers who are making like upwards of 7 figures are contractors. Like they run a contractor organization and they are getting contracts. They don't talk a lot. You know what I mean? They're not doing a lot of this kind of stuff. They're not telling people what they do because they don't want to make more competition for themselves. So D Truth says, I've got a lot to offer I got a lot of offers in Colorado last year. So I think I really, I think it's really about the skills and experience, and you will have a choice. Yeah, absolutely. That's so true. Yasser Ghana, you will love it. I'm going to write that down. Yasser Ghana, you will love it. Okay. Yeah, I've been thinking about Ghana a lot because they're giving citizenship to African Americans, and then there's land there and stuff. So I've been actually really been thinking about it quite a bit to just think about, like, I just need to see the culture and everything, and get familiar with it and see like the people and everything. Anytime I travel to a new country, it's really important how the people are, like how the infrastructure is important too. Don't get me wrong, but for me, the most important thing is how the people behave. around foreigners and to see like what's their, because I've been to places that were nice but weren't nice to foreigners. Like if you weren't one of them, then one of the places that I went to was Hong Kong. I did not feel welcome in Hong Kong at all. I did not feel welcome in Hong Kong, and this was before China took over. And then other places I've been to that I didn't like, I didn't really feel like I could live there, but it was nice to visit, was Germany. I don't feel like I could live there, but it was beautiful. It was all clean, and the people were actually very nice. It was something about it that I was like, I don't know what it is here. I think it's because I don't speak fluent German. They really want you to speak Dutch there. Deutschland wants you to speak German. So, if you don't speak it, then they're kind of like you're an Auslander. You know what I mean? Like you're not welcome. And Japan too. Like as much as I love Japan, it was the same kind of feeling that I had there. If you don't speak fluent Japanese, and really, if you're not a Japanese person, there's so many places that I've been that are ethno nationalists. And I'm not saying that's evil or bad or whatever. That's their country. They're entitled to believe and do whatever they want. But it's not like America, where it's a melting pot. Like for all the problems we have here, you can go somewhere and see every race, every part, and you can get ahead. You can see a person being a senator here, regardless of their Asian, black, whatever, right? But if you go to Japan, you're not going to be a black senator there. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be. It's not like that there. Or Germany. You might see a black mayor or something, maybe, I don't know, but it's Germany. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's a lot of places in the world where if you're never gonna be a German, probably Germany's a little bit more progressive, but like you're not gonna be, a Chinese, a black person who is Chinese. They have a few, don't get me wrong, there's some celebrities there. There's like 3 that are black or white or whatever, and they are Chinese citizens, but you're never going to be accepted by that culture in mass. But here in the US or in Canada or in maybe Australia, you can become a national, they'll consider you a citizen even if you're wherever you come from. So I hope Ghana's like that, but I don't know how welcome a foreigner would be, but before I go there, I would probably learn the language and like learn the customs and eat the food, and because that's how I do it. I go there for the to be a part of the human fabric. Like I want to engage with the community more and be a part of them and see how it feels. That's how I do it. I don't go there just to exploit people or, just to get what I can get and leave. Like I'm trying to find a better place than the US. Like as much as I love the US, but if I can find a better place, you best believe I'm the F up out of here. West Africa. Yeah. Let me see. D-True says, I got a lot of job offers in Colorado and Texas in the last year, so I think I will really, I'm thinking about really, okay, I think I read that one. I'm close to 200 now. Damn, smooth virus. I don't know what to say, man. Lots of immigrants from Ghana in the DMV. Yeah. And them African immigrants aren't playing, man. They're not playing. Right now, the place I'm working at, there's quite a bit of African immigrants, and they're killing it. They just got here, and they're like, yeah, I want that top job right there. Yeah, give me that high paying STEM job right there. Jobs we take for granted as Americans who are 5th, 7th, 8th generation Americans, whatever it is. They just come here and they're like, yep, I'll take that 6-figure job right there. Y'all don't want it? Okay, give it to me. And then they'll go take it and like start a business or something. I really admire, I really admire the work ethic of immigrants, especially from Africa. There are a lot of good Ghana restaurants in Alexandria. Oh man, that's great, man. I've had Ethiopian food before. I would like to try food from other places in West Africa. Aaron says, do you have any tips on working for yourself doing security in GRC? And I have a security clearance and would love to work for myself as a sub. I got a couple tips. This is one of the things I talked about in a recent book that I wrote about working from home. So here's what I learned. I've been doing this for a bit. Couple tips is, number one, if you can land a solid work from home job, one that's some cybersecurity jobs are very stressful, and I mean, it's going to take up every minute of your day. But there's some that are, how do I put this, agile, where it's based off of what you can deliver. It's not based off of you be sitting in a chair and being logged in 24 hours. It's like they say, look, here are your deliverables. If you do these, if you do this in 3 hours, cool. If it takes you 10 hours, cool. Just get it done in X amount of time. Here's your date to get these things done, and do it. Right. So it's based off of your performance and what you can deliver, rather than you sitting in a chair and being available at all times to a client. So, you want to get one of those jobs, if a work from home job that's based off of what you deliver, and not off of you sitting in a chair being logged in 24/7 for a client. If you can get that, then the next step is you could do like a side job. You can do a side. Now, you want to make sure, of course, it's legal, because you don't want to do any non-competes. Like, you don't want to work for two competing companies, right? You're probably not going to be able to work for Google and Facebook or something, like working on both of their search algorithms, when they said you're not allowed to, and you signed an agreement saying, I will not work for a competing organization. I will not work for, don't do it. That's illegal. But, and then sometimes they'll literally say, no, you're not allowed. You're explicitly denied from working from any other company. You will work for us for 40 hours a week, blah, blah, blah. Like, if you sign anything like that, don't do anything I'm about to tell you. But if not, and you can get a job that's performance-based, that's working from home, what you can do is a side hustle where you're doing side work for another organization. Do I recommend this? I do not. And the reason why I don't is because it's very difficult. It's very difficult to do, and you're working your ass off. Now, if you're a single dude, you got nothing to lose. Like me, I'm a father of two. This not advisable for a guy like me, right? Who's in my old age already. But a young dude who's single, who's just that's all you're doing. You're on your grind. This is who I'm talking to. Do another part-time job. Let that part-time job know this is part-time. So that way they're not like, hey, we need you right now. You can just be like, hey, this is a part-time job. I work 10 hours a week or whatever. I'm doing this job on Fridays after 4 or whatever. I'm doing it on Saturdays and Sundays. I will deliver this to you guys on Monday, whatever. That other job, let them know what's going on. All right. So that's how you can start doing your own stuff. What I'm suggesting is, don't just quit your job and be like, okay, I'm going to start this new contracting work, and then cut all your funding. Like, you want to use this money to fund your own stuff. Use your personal income from this company that's your main job to fund this other side thing, hustle that you're doing. And that side hustle, let it grow. Once it grows to a certain point, then maybe you can shift over to there. Maybe you can do less of this and more of this. So do not cut your day job. Don't do it. Do not do it. Let this one grow. And then when you're ready, when you have money in the bank, you have crazy debt, you have a house or whatever, like it's already paid down to where it's a manageable amount of rent or mortgage or whatever, you've got your bills under control and you have a budget, and now you can live off this income and you have savings or whatever, you're good, then you can try that. But do not quit your day job. Don't do it. Let me see. He said, I have a security clearance and would love to work for myself. Another thing is security clearance, like it's going to give you more opportunities to do this kind of stuff. Because what'll happen is, once you start putting yourself out there to do this, like part-time jobs, you can find part-time jobs, man. Like check check this out. Let me show you. Let me put you on some more game. If you just type in like this, cyber, let me make the screen bigger. Check this out. You just type in cybersecurity. I'm afraid to do this because I'll find something, I'm sure. Security analyst, right? Now check this out. Now you can just go here and type in, and you can do this on Dice or whatever. You can do this on so many different type of job. Here it is right here. Part-time. These guys are looking for part-time people. They're not looking for full-time people. Look how they're, now this is not what we're looking for. This is auditing. That's why I changed my stuff. Cybersecurity. This is type in cybersecurity like that. Okay. And this is in MA. You type your location wherever you're at. You can find part-time jobs where you're just, well, hell, let me just switch it again. Okay. Part-time. 5 part-time jobs. Here we go. So these part-time jobs, these guys, sometimes they're just looking for a dude to do some work, some quick work for them. They're not looking for a full-time person. So they're not expecting you to work hella hours. So you could like do this as a part-time job, put it under LLC, some kind of LLC, do 1099s. And then, you've got a side hustle right there. That's one thing you could do. Just, I don't know, throwing ideas out there. Only thing is don't burn yourself out. Like I said, it's different for me because I got kids. I got all these obligations. I got to have health care. Like if you don't care about all that kind of stuff, then you could actually do that you could do a bunch of part-time jobs. You can do like 3, think about it. You can do 3 part-time jobs, no full-time jobs. If you're not worried about benefits and healthcare and stuff. Just some ideas. Let me see. Ghana's a great place to live. Oh, have you been there before? I'd like to know more about it. Let me see. You will love Ghana. They accept foreigners better than the locals. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna have to check it out. I'm gonna have to hang out there someday. Ghana is great. You'll love it. The culture and the people. Wow. I mean, I've been watching videos about it, and I see all these American expats that are going over there from all over, for UK, from America, from Canada, going over there, like buying property and like building houses and stuff and like helping the local community. I'm like, damn, that's, I like to do that. And then they're like, you can actually purchase land there and stuff. I'm like, maybe, for the future. So I've been thinking about it pretty heavy, and watching videos and doing some research and stuff. And the next thing is probably just to get somebody I know and trust there, and then just go meet up with them. And that's how I normally do it when I go to another country. And then they just take me around, just check some stuff out for like a couple days, and then just get a vibe, because you go to places, I don't know, for you guys who travel, I'll go to a country and I'll get like this immediate like vibe. Like I went to places I really loved as soon as I got there. I really loved Japan, but wasn't a place I would want to live. But I don't know what it was about it. I just really loved it. Another place I went to was Thailand. When I got there, I was like really, really in love with Thailand. It just like the people are so nice. They're so good. Cebu, Philippines. Cebu, not necessarily the rest of the Philippines, but Cebu. I had some bad experience with the rest of with Manila in particular, but Cebu, I love that. I would totally live in Cebu, Philippines. That's why I'm always there. I love the people. I love the place. The food is so good. Like everything about Cebu, I love it. And then other places I've been to that I didn't like, Hong Kong, I didn't like at all. I did not like anything about Hong Kong. The inference is beautiful. It's a beautiful place. The people look good. They're not very kind. But I just didn't like it. And then another one was Ho Chi Minh, Vietnam. Wow, it was rough. It was rough. I planned to stay there for like a week, and I didn't last 2 days. And I don't know, man. It was bad. It was, for me, I just had a bad experience, so I didn't like it. But I've been to many different countries, and there's some places that you just get a vibe, and you either like it or you don't. And then the people for me, the biggest factor is the people. Like if people are trying to rip you off everywhere you go and they treat foreigners like bad, then that tells me a lot about how they care about humans. They don't really give a damn, you know. It's like any place, right? I'm sure there's places in Vietnam that are incredible and places within Hong Kong that are incredible. But it's just like the US. If you go to Hawaii, it's a completely different experience than if you go to Missouri, than if you go to New York. It's just a whole different feeling if you go to, if you know. So maybe that experience, I'll probably go back to Vietnam one of these days and go to another place there or something. But I really want to go to Ghana. Like Ghana is been on my mind to go there because it just seems like the vibe that I would like. So we'll see. All right, I think that's it, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I think I've been on here about an hour and a half. I appreciate everybody who's watching. Thank you guys for all the great comments. Smooth Virus, man. Damn, I gotta ask you some questions, man. I'm curious now. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate everything. All the support, all the love, all the comments and stuff. Much appreciated. I got another video coming out. I'll just do on Monday, possibly Sunday. I don't know. Stay tuned. We'll see. But thank you guys so much. I'm out of here. Have a great weekend.